This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Media Network. I'm Tim Daniel. I've been podcasting about the Reds for 5 years at publications such as Late Night Reds and The Riverfront, and I want to thank you all for spending some time with me this afternoon as we discuss an unfortunate 12-5 loss today from the Cincinnati Reds against the Minnesota Twins. Today's episode of the show is brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your purchase. On today's show, pitching, not there today. Happens. TJ Friedl, awesome, yet again. And Gavin Lux hits a home run today, and that was really nice to see. And of course, I'm going to hear from you guys as well. All of that and a whole lot more. Let's get started.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Hey, today was a bummer. They lost, but life goes on. You know, you talk about it. You want the Reds to keep winning 2 out of 3 in every series, and that's what they're doing. And they can keep doing it, and they did it this series again. Today wasn't their day. And started with Nick Martinez. He just looked off tonight. He just looked like it wasn't his. Nothing seemed to be going his way. And let's kind of just go through the numbers real quick as I kind of bring this up real fast. My numbers are... Where'd they go? Of course, my phone fails me here. 2 2/3, 7 earned runs, 3 homers given up. So here's where I'm at on the Nick Martinez thing. Am I necessarily think he's not going to figure it out? No. But he's given up a lot of homers of late. In his last couple starts, 7 2/3 starts, he's given up I think 6 home runs in those games combined. So that wasn't very good. Hats off to the Twins. They made adjustments really well for the first 2 games, and they got to them. Byron Buxton once again starting the day with a solo shot. Not sad to say that we won't see Byron Buxton anymore for the rest of the season as he hit 2 home runs today for the Twins. And then you get guys like Willie Castro getting hits too, and you get guys like down the stretch. I mean, the Twins were just on one today, 17 hits as a team, and the Reds pitching just didn't have anything for them. So Lyon Richardson comes in, throws an inning, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 2 strikeouts. Brent Suter, decent. Ian Gibaut, decent. Taylor Rogers gives up a homer, and Luis May, 3 walks. So just was a rough day at the park for the pitching staff. And it was bound to happen. Things have been going really well for the team. I still think the team feels really good. Today doesn't discourage me from how they've played of late. I still think that there's a lot of good baseball in this team. And like we said, we're now looking at a situation where the last 3 series, they took 2 out of 3 from AL Central teams. Cleveland, Detroit, and this one. So you're putting yourself back in the race. Today was just a bummer of a day. Now, I think Nick Martinez is going to get it right, especially because he needs to, because his next start is the Yankees, who like to hit home runs, even though they're not playing very well right now. I still feel really good about where this team's at. Today stunk, yes, but the way they've played of late, they still won 7 to the last 10. I don't have any issues with losing a game to the Twins like that when the Twins were just on it. And so you take it, you move on from it, you try to figure things out. But my worry is, what's the bullpen going to look like going into the St. Louis series now? Because today they had to use 5 guys. 3 of those guys had to pitch more than an inning, and they got hit. I mean, and the pitch counts, so wasn't as awful as I potentially thought there were. Lyon Richardson threw 31, Brent Suter threw 35, Ian Gibaut threw 31, Luis May threw 34. So something tells me they're going to be calling somebody up to fill some spots for this series coming up here. And I don't know what to do, what the process is here, but that's where I'm really worried, is the bullpen here needs to they need to figure out, they need to get a guy to go out there and get some long starts tomorrow. Brady Singer, obviously in that first game in the series, get him some nice innings as well. I blame Jeff and Steve for gassing up Martinez in the last episode of Locked On Reds. They actually both text me that. They called it the Locked On curse, is what they called it. So that's a disappointment. just not their day. Just not their day. And if you're the Reds, I mean, offensively, you feel pretty good about what you did. Pitching wise, just wasn't there. I thought the defense was really good today too. I thought they made a lot of really good plays as well. I don't know, man. It just feels like pitching. Every guy who got a chance today had really left a lot on the table. The walks were really concerning today too. 8 walks as a team from your pitchers. Like homers are homers, especially at Great American Ballpark. Homers are homers, but 8 walks combined from your staff, and Luis May having 3 of those obviously inflates that. That's something that they got to get going. You can't give up free runners, especially in games like this. And I'm just frustrated, disappointed. Lucifer's Lair, I'm not sugarcoating it. I mean, he had a bad game, and I don't think it's a momentum killer. They've been really, really good for a long time. I mean, I know we want to jump to the negativity things, but I'm not sugarcoating anything. I still think this team has played really great baseball of late, and I think, they got to figure something out here for sure going to the St. Louis series because they've struggled against the division, but you move on. And I think this team's pretty good at moving on from losses of late. My one thing I'm trying to figure out though is when they do lose, why are they losing by a lot? So last Cleveland game, they lose by 9. Detroit game, they lose by 6. Today they lose by 7. So something there, you just kind of got to figure it out and move on. But we digress. As the Cincinnati Reds take a tough loss today. The pitching was not there, but the offense was there. Particularly, TJ Friedl was there as he continues to do amazing things. And we're going to talk about TJ Friedl and more right after this. Let's be real. Coffee isn't just a drink, it's a ritual, a lifeline, a thing that gets you from half asleep to fully functioning. And if that's essential, why settle for anything less than amazing? That's where Trade Coffee comes in. Trade Coffee is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S., delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour-over purist, they've got a roast you'll love. I took Trade's quiz. It only took a minute, and the first bag they sent me was spot on. The coffee was fresh, smelled amazing, and honestly, it ruined grocery store coffee for me in the best way. And if the first match isn't perfect, Trade will replace it for free. And also, our listeners are getting an opportunity right now to get 50% off your first month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's trade.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your first trial. Where did my... There we go. Okay. Have you ever decided last minute you'd have to do a ball game with friends and family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. And Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get the first pitch. And they've got incredible last minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for an upcoming exciting MLB game like the Yankees coming to town next week. Game Time has last-minute tickets and zone deals for big savings like 10% off, exclusive zone deals for FIFA World Cup matchups. Seat views right in the app before you buy, so you know exactly where you'll be. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. Want to give a shout out to everybody for spending some time with me here on the Postcast, even in a bummer of a day where the Cincinnati Reds take a tough loss to the Minnesota Twins, 12-5. If you're just checking me out for the first time, thank you so much for spending some time with me. Be sure to hit that notification button so you also can become an everydayer and not only get on my show after every single Reds game, but get Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds. Let's talk about where this game probably fell apart for the Red Legs.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
In the 4th inning, the Minnesota Twins ended up putting 2 extra runs on the game after the Reds made it a 7-4 game and looked like they were going to make a run at it. And then once again, Ryan Jeffers hits the double that brings in Ty France and Carlos Correa to make it 7-2. Minnesota goes on to hold on strong from there. And the Reds, though their offense battled, couldn't make much of a comeback. Let's talk about TJ Friedl today, because once again, what up, Bryson? How are you? Was fantastic in their leadoff spot. 3 hits today, 2 runs scored, another RBI. continues to prove to be all-star worthy. Another double today as well. He's been just awesome. He's been patrolling center field really well. Yeah, Greg, you're right. This is absolutely pretty funny. The dreaded game day on a weekday curse. Yeah, maybe we just don't. The Yankees series, they don't have any. So hey, maybe that's a good sign for that series. But now up to a 294 batting average, an 829 OPS for the year, and 593 slugging his last 7, 545 his last 15, 530 for the last month. TJ Friedl's been unstoppable. It seems like, and like I said, playing a great center field. Obviously, he can put contact in. And Dave, that's like the thing, is everyone does that when they leave the Reds. Harrison Bader, same thing, played really well in this series when he got chances. Also had a pinch hit single today. That was frustrating. But what you're getting from Friedl right now has obviously been pretty fantastic. And what we're kind of seeing from him now is he's trying to not only prove his all-star worthiness, but in an outfield that had a lot of questions going into the year, we've been able to count on him. And so that's been pretty awesome. That's been pretty fantastic. So Luke has it right here. Fun fact, the Reds are 3-10 on Wednesday. What are they on Thursdays, though, is the big question. I got to figure that out. I know that their weekend numbers are really good, which hopefully that helps us out for the St. Louis series. But not today. TJ Friedl was pretty awesome. And I think it's fair to say that what they got from TJ Friedl today should make him the locked on player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
As yes, TJ Friedl continues his hot streak to prove that he is, in fact, the locked on player of the game. Something also to make sure you take a note of as we kind of move through here. Matt McLain, another hit today. So it seems like maybe he really has flipped a switch here. He's been playing really well for the last 15 games or so. It's unbelievable to see that he's getting there. I'm all for team putting him back in the second hole right now against lefties. Gavin Lux, who we're going to talk about here, has been really good against righties. And once again today, had a nice day. One of his rare home runs in the season, just his third of the year, batting in front of Ellie, who I know Ellie didn't have a great day today with 3 ground outs and a strikeout. But we talk about the most important people in the lineup are the guy hitting ahead of Ellie and the guy hitting behind Ellie. And both those guys today, only 2 hits, but they've been kind of carrying their own for a little while now. And Gavin Lux has been tremendous. I did not love the idea of him playing left field. And when he has been in the defense, he's been pretty decent. DH today, obviously. So Spencer Steer played left field, who also had a good game today with 2 hits, back-to-back multi-hit games for him. Just really nice to see that the offense is going. So most days when the Reds have 5 runs and 10 hits, you can probably count on them to win. Minnesota just, I felt like they couldn't get out in stretches today. And certainly showed with having multiple cricket number innings. But you take that. So Gavin Lux now with that homer puts 2 on the board, makes it a 7-4 game. I think as far as a contact guy goes, he's been pretty awesome for this team. He walks a lot. And I think, that's obviously helping this team quite a bit. He's not necessarily a slugger as we've seen, but what he's providing the team has been great and what this team needs. So we'll see how it goes from here. I mean, obviously now that you take this loss and you get ready for a must-win series. I mean, you have to figure out a way. Sweeping would be ideal, but 2 out of 3 you can live with if you keep doing that. Like Chris says here, they've won 4 straight series. So you move forward with that as well. But today, the Cincinnati Reds are unfortunate losers, 12-5 to the Minnesota Twins. The Twins 12 runs, 17 hits, no errors. The Reds 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Your winning pitcher is Chris Paddock. He is now 3-6 with a 4.48. Your losing pitcher is Nick Martinez. He is 4-8 with a 4.55 ERA. And now the Reds turn the page and get ready for a weekend set on the road in St. Louis against the Cardinals. Brady Singer will take the hill for game 1. He is 7-4 with a 4.34 ERA, going against Andre Palante, who is 4-3 with a 4.83 earned run average. First pitch is at 7:15, so I'll be on shortly after the end of the game. I'm Tim Daniel. Thank you all so much for spending some time with me. Be sure to check out Jeff and Steve on Locked On Reds as well, as they will do a deep dive into this game and hopefully get into some things going on in the minors as well. Everyone have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow night.